Now, eBay expects PayPal to handle $3 billion in mobile payments this year. Maybe that's why the company today decided to shell out $240 million to buy a lesser-known company called Zong. Zong makes mobile payments as easy as one click and has established relationships with 250 carriers in 45 countries worldwide. Joining us today in San Francisco is Zong CEO David Marcus, and welcome back. I'm so glad we interviewed you back in the day, so we can say we did, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how did you come to the decision to sell, and what other options were you considering?
Well, we had options to continue fundraising and grow the company, but then eventually we met Scott Thompson and the team at PayPal, and we found a very, very passionate team sharing the same culture and the same vision of changing the way people pay around the world. And I think that the very exciting piece for us is that it enables us to accelerate what we've built over the course of the past couple of years in a huge way. We have 1,000 or so merchants. PayPal has 9 million merchants, and that's going to enable us to scale in a big way.
Now, the mobile payments business is becoming increasingly competitive. You've got Apple jumping into the game, Google. How well positioned is PayPal to win this market?
I think it's the best positioned. And mobile payments can be many, many things, right? You've got remote mobile payments for digital goods. You've got remote mobile payments for physical goods, and then you've got POS payments, in-store payments. And I think that PayPal is addressing all of these three opportunities and has a lot of scale and experience in payments. Payments is not easy. It's a scale game. You need to see a lot of transactions to build the proper risk models. And some of those companies that are trying to get into that space don't have the data and the breadth of experience that PayPal has. So that's why we felt this was the right place to continue winning in this space.
So what do you think of a company, for example, like Square, which is getting a lot of buzz in this business, but obviously has a steep hill to climb?
I think Square is great, and Jack is a fantastic leader, and the design of the product is fantastic. But the growth and momentum has been amazing. It still needs to scale and continue growing, and I think they've raised a huge round, and they're going to address that. I can't speak for PayPal yet, but I know that PayPal is also working on their own POS offering, and so I think it's going to be very, very, very good.
So how do you see Zong's technology being integrated into PayPal's service?
Well, I think first things first, we need to scale what we've built, and we've worked with 250 carriers in 45 countries, and what we want to do at first is help them scale the business that we've created with them. And so, plugging into more and more merchants, making sure that mobile payments is going to be enabled on all of these for the carriers is priority number one in the digital space, and then we'll see.
Facebook credits is obviously a big part of your business. How much revenue do you get from Facebook?
Well, I can't comment on that, but what I can tell you is that it's growing very, very, very quickly.
When you look at Google Wallet, what do you think of that offering?
Well, I think it's brave of Google to be the first one to launch in the space, and I think it's an elegant solution. But we'll see what happens. It's very tough to distribute POS solutions out there and have merchants and carriers and processors align, and it's tough to sell wallets to consumers because people don't want wallets. You only set up a wallet online if you're exposed to the option when you're buying something, not before you're buying something. So it's tough. It's not easy.
Now, part of the advantage of Zong is the relationship that you already have with the carriers. How much have carriers brought down their fees in working with you?
Well, they've brought down their fees massively. So last time I was here, we were still talking about fees at around 15-20%. Now we've got fees in Germany as low as 3% for physical goods, and it's getting below 10% in a lot of places. So it's great for digital goods, and digital goods include virtual goods, but also music, licensed video content, and all of that stuff. And it's going to expand into more and more verticals as we move forward.
We've been talking a lot about the war for talent and engineers and developers in Silicon Valley. In the mobile payments business in particular, is it any more competitive because it's so specialized and because competition is heating up so much?
It's very competitive, and I think we have an edge there because all of the carrier backend connectivity piece is still in Europe for us. So the engineers are there, and the front-end engineers and payment system engineers are here. So we've got a good mix of locations where we can find the best engineers and retain them.
All right, well, we'll be watching to see how Zong is integrated into the mobile payments business and keeping a close eye on the competition. All right, David Marcus, CEO of Zong, great to have you with us today.